never be pretending. Not in this ring. She gonna tell you what she bought.
Hello, eSpotters. This is Camille Cower, and welcome to the eSpot with Camille. I am so excited today. I have one of my fellow UPS wives with me today, but she's not just a UPS wife because, gosh, glad to have you here because you have been amazing resource online, social media, everything else. She is the OG original influencer. She's one of the first originals. So, Letitia, I'm so excited to have you. Tell me everything. How did you get your start in influencing?
My God. So, have you heard of Candy Johnson, the Pixie Woos? Yeah. So, first of all, back in 2008, I started off as a freelance makeup artist. And, I was surfing the web around 2009, 2010, and I was surfing the web for different makeup looks. And then all of a sudden, Pixie Woo pops up. And that's Samantha Chapman and Nicola Chapman. And they're both sisters out of the UK, professional makeup artists, amazing makeup artists that have worked on celebrities. And so anyways, I was looking on YouTube and I found a makeup tutorial from them that was like a club makeup look or something like that. And my world just took off. I'm like, what are these girls doing? Because they were doing makeup tutorials. They were showing products that they're using. And then a friend of mine was like, hey, you can do that. You're already doing it. Like on Facebook, I would post makeup looks and stuff like that. And it took me about a year before I had the guts to do it, because it's like, stay-at-home mom, UPS wife, 2 kids, 2 toddlers. Yeah, so I was like, yeah, right, okay. So I uploaded my first video in 2010 on YouTube. It got like no traction, which I expected, because nobody was really watching back then, So I put it on private. And then January of 2011, I was like, what the hell? Let me just do this, right? So I put up my first video, which was an elf haul video, which is crazy. Put that up and it slowly started gaining traction. Not really, but I kept going. And now I am where I'm at, which is crazy. My YouTube channel blossomed to like 28,000 subscribers. Now I'm on Instagram and I freaking love it. I love my people, man.
So good at being just really authentic and just like you do some videos without makeup, some with to call you a makeup or beauty influencer, I feel like that's very limiting because you do so much more. Like you expand way beyond just beauty in the sense that it's not just skin deep. You go further than that. And I think a lot of times with influencers, they kind of get a bad rep of this idea that they're kind of like promoting a lot of negative body images or beauty images or standards or just even with the beauty hauls and so forth and so on. So when you were starting and as a mom and also already being, I guess not the typical idea of what an influencer was, what was your goals? Like, what did you think you were going to do when you first started? And
it was all about just sharing my favorite products and showing, different looks that you can do from home. And also, though, what I've always preached, back in my older videos, even now, it's been a while since I've uploaded, but is, like you said, embracing who you are, body positivity, owning the skin you're in, encouraging and motivating other women and men, of course, and just showing everybody that you can do and be whoever you are, no matter what age you are, no matter what shape you are, no matter what race you are, no matter what, and just own it, just own who you are. And that's what I've always, tried to get through to my audience. And I don't like calling them audience. I don't like calling them subscribers. I don't like calling them followers. They are my family because a lot of them have been with me literally since the beginning. And I love that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it really can be a community that's stays there for you. They'll notice when you're not there for a while, or they'll check in on you.
Yeah.
So it's,
No,
it's interesting to see how social media, especially the social part of it, more so than
yeah.
the media machine of it all. But I know that we've talked privately off air about a couple of things, and just
Oh yeah.
wondered for you, what was it like? What do you think and gave you that courage to even take that first step, or even to put yourself out there? Yes, I'm leading you into a question.
Yeah, you are. And I think I know which question. Maybe. I don't know.
You're leading
Oh
into
my
an answer, I should say, because I already
goodness.
know about your special talents.
Oh yeah. So way before I was ever a makeup artist, beauty influencer, which to me the word influencer is kind of weird because when we started out, we were just called beauty gurus, which
Oh,
is weird, but that was like the YouTube terminology back then. Um, I've been a professional vocalist my whole life. I'm not currently singing at the moment, but I have sang my entire life, competed my entire life growing up. Also sang here in El Paso in the Sun City Chorale. But also when I was 15 years old, I got invited with my choral group to New York City to sing at Carnegie Hall. And we sang with John Rutter, which is a, world-renowned composer, clinician, and we sang his Te Deum, and then we also sang another piece called Gloria. And oh my God, let me tell you, that was amazing at 15, man. It was just like,
I
every time
mean,
we
at
got the
such a young age,
nerves.
what was that like? I mean, going from
Oh,
Texas to New York
wow.
City to perform at Carnegie, it doesn't really get much bigger
Girl,
or better.
I mean, I know it wasn't a solo performance, but I did not care. I was just so thankful and grateful for the opportunity to be there. I mean, walking into Carnegie, seeing the stage, sitting, I mean, before we ever performed, we had rehearsals there, and then we had rehearsals at oh my gosh, it was a big hotel in New York,
Ritz,
the the
um,
Plaza Hotel or something like that.
Eleanor,
Yes,
Louise.
right. It was crazy. It was you know what? I felt like Home
Wow.
Alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like you're
yeah.
like this kid in a city and you're like, this is where Kevin McAllister was. You know what I mean? It was just so crazy. Wonderful experience. Getting to like sit in the audience and then getting to be on stage, backstage with all of the antique, you see instruments and music stands, and you think about all of the amazing people that performed on that stage, like Luciano Pavarotti, and you know what I mean? It's just it was a dream come true. I have to say it was amazing.
Now,
And
did it seem as big
yeah.
in person as it does from the stage perspective? Because I remember the first,
Oh,
like seeing Broadway and then going to Broadway and then actually seeing a play on Broadway. Like it's different. Like in your head, you just have these grand visions, and then you're like, oh wait, this is a city, so things are a little
yeah.
bit smaller,
It
but at
was
the same time, still
it
very
was even
grand.
bigger. It was even bigger than I had imagined because, while we were there, we had rehearsals like every day. So it was kind of hard to see the city, but we actually got to see the city. We had one day, one day. So you can imagine, I was everywhere from Lady Liberty to the Empire to just exploring Carnegie even more because we were kids and we were wanting to like go through and see everything. So
Right.
it was just so amazing, New York City vibes. Ooh, so cool.
So, do you feel like anything that you learned from being a vocalist and even performing in front of a live stage helped you with being an influencer? And how did it go from, again, just a couple of uploads to flying around the world? Well, flying around, learning more,
Yeah.
getting invited to all the big fun influencer parties.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
It really helped in a lot of ways because in actuality, I have the worst stage fright in the world. So being behind a camera, it's kind of more relaxed because you're like, hey, it's me and the camera. Even though I know, thousands of people are going to see what I'm doing, it just kind of, I don't know. we kind
You
of have
don't
to
think about
relate.
it
Like
in the moment. Yeah.
yeah, you don't think about it in the moment. But back in 2016, I was invited as a beauty blogger from YouTube to Generation Beauty. I don't know if you've heard of Generation Beauty, which is a big, huge event that they have in either LA or New York. I don't know if Gen Beauty is spread across like Dallas or anywhere else, but the major places they have it is LA and New York. So I was invited to LA in 2016. I had my little badge. We had a VIP party, which the only people that were invited are pretty much the bigger YouTubers. And that was nerve-wracking, let me tell you, because, you know, when I was at the VIP party, Michelle Phan was there, because I don't know if you know Michelle Phan, but
Everybody
Michelle Phan is she's the biggest beauty YouTuber ever. And she was there. She was still, you know, owner in part with Ipsy, I guess, because she's the one that started Ipsy. And it was nerve-wracking because I got to meet Manny MUA. Everybody knows who Manny MUA is. Patrick Starr, so many amazing influencers, and I was nervous, but definitely I feel like being on camera for as many years as I have been, it helped a lot. But yeah, you still get that kind of like nervous feeling, you know. And then I don't want to fangirl either because I was like, okay, what am I doing here? Kind of like imposter syndrome. Like,
Right. I was going to ask, did you feel that and how did you overcome that? Because
I
there's probably people there
did.
that are looking at you the same way you're looking at them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And it
yeah.
was so crazy because I did get to meet a couple of my other subscribers. And then I got to meet, like I said, of course, the bigger YouTubers and stuff like that. But what I realized is, and I wish a lot more people would realize this, is when you go to events like that or you go to places like that, it's just being yourself. You know what I mean? It's just being yourself, talking to other people, treating people like humans. You know what I mean? And
Boy,
just,
do
you
I.
just have to put yourself out there. And I said, well, screw it. Let's see what happens. And I just
Yeah.
started talking and it was amazing. And you just open up and you do realize though that there are some people that are harder to talk to than others, of course. You
Well,
know?
I mean, you also find out sometimes that
Yeah.
people are one thing in front of camera and completely
Yeah.
because there are a lot of times with actors, they're introverts. So
That
it
is
might
true.
not be you. It's just they don't really want to talk to people unless they're getting paid to or
Yeah.
somebody wrote the lines for them. So it could be
Yeah.
that
Which
as
which
well.
I was really pleasantly surprised with the people that I did meet. And then like you said too, like when I was there, I just felt like I was the person there, like in the room with a bunch of other people that are like, wow, who are you? But then I had people come up to me and say, oh my God, I watch your videos. And the first thing I did when I saw my people, because like I said, they're not my subscribers, they're my people, is I hug. I'm like, oh, I'm such a big hugger. And just making them feel like I do on camera and off, like you said. You know, you want to make everybody feel like just be yourself. And it was so
I mean,
cool.
they're spending their time with you as well, is my thought process
Oh,
about
yeah.
it. Like, if you're spending
Yeah.
every day that I'm making, because they don't see how much time and effort you put into each video,
Oh,
which I want
yeah.
to go into as well. But when you put that much love into what you're making, to see people that enjoy it, like
Yeah.
I'm gonna hug you. I'm gonna want to love on you because I'm thankful that you enjoy
Oh, yeah.
when I'm working on my babies, which I'm sure is the same
Yeah.
for you. So tell us a little bit, like, I'm sure when you first started, there were some hiccups and some things you had to learn. So give us some insight on some of the beginner missteps or things you would warn maybe new influence babies
Oh, man.
about, or micro, I guess.
So,
Yeah.
so when you're first starting off, I think it was a lot harder back in the day than it is now because I feel like there's just so much more technology and electronics and computers and all this stuff that people have now that they can start off with. When we first started off, the reason why I say we is because there's a lot of us YouTuber OGs out there. So shout out to my YouTuber OGs because we started off like with our MacBook cameras. That's how I started off. I'm not even like lying. I didn't care. And you know what? I encourage people even now
Started off 3 years ago,
start
right? No, wait, I
Start with
got
what
a
you
webcam in
got.
March. Yeah, I got a webcam in March. What am I
Yeah.
talking about? Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Start
Okay,
with a
so
webcam.
yeah.
I mean, and you know what I think it really is, Camille?
Mhm.
Honestly, is just being yourself, because there's going to be people that watch your YouTube videos. And like, I don't know about you, but with me, I have ADD. I'm going to put that out there. I do actually have ADD. So it's hard for me to focus. Yes. Yes. You get me then. You
Oh,
totally get me.
100%.
If you can't catch me within the first 5 minutes of your video, I'm pretty much,
Then.
I'm out. You know what I mean? And I think with authenticity, I know actually with authenticity, people can tell right away when they first start watching you whether you're that authentic of a person or you're not. I can. I mean, I don't know if anybody else can, but so it's just being yourself. Hiccups along the way. When I first started, I literally, when I got my first camera, I didn't have a tripod. So I think all like YouTubers, bloggers would stack their cameras on top of books. So yeah, I mean, use what you got. If you can, I always suggest to influencers starting out, just be yourself. Start off with, just don't put a lot of money into your equipment and stuff right away, because you got to grow, you got to build, and you just don't want to do that. Because, like I said, you could have the best quality camera, lighting, tripod setups, but if you're not authentic and you're not coming across that way to your audience, it's not going to work. Doesn't
Right.
matter.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
No.
yeah.
Look, I there's so much content out there. There's so many people now making things. If you
Oh, yeah.
there's somebody for everyone. So just be yourself, because the
Yep.
person that you think you're portraying, or the kind of show you think you're creating for whoever you think you're creating it for, eventually that person is gonna be like, this doesn't really hit with me because it's not real. So just be yourself. I would agree.
Yeah.
Great point.
And I think, with the way YouTube is going, the market has been really saturated in different areas. However, I feel like anyone can set themselves apart and stand out. It's just finding your niche, finding what's going to make you stand out, and just going for it, because,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what were some of the things that, like looking back, that you would suggest people really maybe pay more attention to or learn more about? Because those were the things that you really needed to know as influencer that maybe aren't so obvious of a thing.
Definitely consistency. You have to be consistent. I mean, especially starting off with like uploads, you got to be consistent, set a schedule, um, literally plan out what you're going to do on, I mean, not just YouTube, but any platform that you're on, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, because Facebook's blowing up also as well with influencers. Um, you also want to make sure that you watch videos on YouTube to learn how to edit, whether it's editing videos, whether it's editing photos. So that's good to know. Learn how to use whatever platform you're with, because that is crucial. I cannot tell you how many times, I just couldn't get it together because I didn't fully learn what I was using. So just make sure that you know that.
It's
Networking
always
is
changing
big.
with the
Yeah,
software
yeah,
part of
yeah.
it too. Like, yeah,
Yep.
always learning.
Always. Hmm.
Always be, it used to be always be creating, right? Is that the term?
Right. Yep.
So always learning, always be
Exactly.
creating.
Yeah.
So you got, you were about to say something. I'm sorry.
But just networking too.
Mm,
And I think that's key in any business too. You want to build good relationships, good rapport with brands, with people. And since I was already a makeup artist, that's another thing that was really hard too. And I'm sure other people can agree, is being an influencer plus working a full-time job plus having kids is crazy. Because while I was doing YouTube, Instagram, and I'm still working now, I've worked for top brands from like MAC to Dior, YSL, um, you know, as a makeup artist, as a beauty advisor, moved my way up to sales and education, beauty director for Dior while doing YouTube. So you definitely have to prioritize your time if you're doing other things at the same time, especially if you're a mom, because it can get crazy. You know what I mean? It
Like
can get
on
really crazy.
average, how much time would you say you would spend per video or campaign program? Like how much is it? Like I think from the outside, we just see a pretty post that we're looking at for 3 seconds, maybe 30 minutes if
Right?
it's a video, but no one knows,
Yeah.
just like in movies, that 1 second of film could have taken 3 hours to create and 300
Oh,
people, like, so I'm curious for you,
let
you
me
can only see the top
tell
of the
you.
iceberg. What's going on under the lake? Yeah.
So it really depends on what you're filming or what kind of picture you're doing, but I know for editing video, it can take anywhere seriously from 20 minutes to like a week, maybe a month. It really depends on the content you're trying to pull. I've done a lot of different collaborations with brands, especially with It Cosmetics, which was a big one because I was a part of their It Girl contest back in 2015. So the videos that I made for that, just to get into the contest,
Yeah.
took me a couple days to do, and it's a lot of work. And I don't think people understand that going in, because you're having to set up your lighting. You're having to make sure that your camera's recording and that your microphone is on. Because if your microphone isn't on, you're going to be doing a voiceover, which takes time too.
Oh, and you'll
So
never be
then
able
you're like,
to add up to the mouth.
yeah.
I have
Oh,
so much
yeah.
respect for old school Taekwondo films now. They try.
Yes. Right?
Like, don't even try. Like, it's
But
pointless.
oh my gosh. So it's a lot of work, you know, and
Yeah.
time that goes into it. And then especially say you're an influencer on Instagram, because I've kind of moved over to Instagram a little.
Okay. And tell me,
May
what was
move
your
back to
migration?
YouTube.
What made you move as well?
You know, at the time when I was at the peak of my YouTube career, because let's just face it, it is. And a lot of people, this is one thing I want to get across before I continue is
Mhm.
when I first started YouTube back in the day, we didn't have monetization. So none of us were getting paid. So the goal back then wasn't to get paid because nobody was getting paid. Then once monetization started, which was about 2011, and we started to get paid, and we all thought, hey, this could be a job that could really help like our families and stuff like that. Then the goal was it is to get paid, and it's like a job. And so a lot of people see that as a negative, but it's not a negative. To me, it's just us sharing what we love, sharing our skills, and getting paid to do it, like as if you're a makeup artist, like in real life, you know, freelancing, or if you're just sharing your talents, you know what I mean? And everybody gets paid to do that. I mean, celebrities do. And sometimes people take that the wrong way nowadays, and they're like, oh, they're just doing it for the money. And it's like, well, yeah, in a way we are, but we're not doing, some of us aren't doing it for the wrong reasons. You know
Right.
what I'm
Well, I
saying?
mean, you're pretty genuine about the fact that when you're using certain products, you'll say why you
Yeah.
like it, why you don't like it. You're not, I mean, I get when if it was somebody that's like an influencer who's just hawking products all the time. Like, now I'm selling this,
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
I'm selling that, you know, like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
or there's like this one skin influencer that just burns me up because every single day it's a new product. So how do you know what's working? Because
Yeah.
every day you're using something
Yeah.
new, another
Right.
product, like, and you're 20. Like, you don't have acne, you don't have
Yes.
aging, you don't have skin discount. Like, dude, or
Right.
female.
You ain't 41 with the crinkles or,
Yeah, like,
right.
I'm not taking skincare advice from someone who hasn't gone through anything yet in that sense. Like, I get it. You can
Exactly.
tell me, oh, it feels very luxurious. Yes, you can tell me that part of it, definitely. But to tell me
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
clean or this, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So, you know,
Mhm.
I was getting, you know, I was getting paid at the epitome of my career.
Right.
But you know, real life, my husband was working for UPS, you know, I was a freelance makeup artist, but then I was working for, at the time, I was working for number seven, Boots number seven, and I
Mhm.
was their sales coordinator, and they
Oh,
flew me to
smell
New
good
York
seven when you
City.
say that.
Yeah, Boots number 7. And they flew me to New York City for 5 days for training. And I was working for them. Then I came back here and I was working in all of the Ulta stores, not for Ulta, but for number 7 as a vendor
Mhm.
in all the Ulta stores here in El Paso and in New Mexico. And it was really hard for me to juggle YouTube and that. So I took, I was still actually filming videos from it's only been a year I haven't filmed, but essentially I took a break because my career started growing in the beauty industry. So I started a long time ago, like I said, as a freelancer, and then moved my way up with different companies and ultimately moved up to beauty director with Dior, Christian Dior, which was freaking
I'm
amazing.
like, all I keep thinking is
Camille.
all your gratis. I'm like, why would you want
Oh
to
my
become an
gosh.
influencer when you already get the best gratis anyway? If
Well,
you weren't
yeah,
getting
and
paid, I'm like, so
girl,
what was the
and
benefits?
not only that, but I was a beauty director for Dior, so I was already up there with the company. So I didn't have to do the sales like the other girls. I was their trainer. I was their motivator. I was their encourager. And you know what? I loved every second of it.
I can imagine.
And oh my gosh, man. And these girls, let me tell you, because I've been there myself, but these girls at the counters, you got to give them credit because they have days where they have to hit $600 a day in sales and there's nobody in the stores and it's like chirp, chirp, or, like my girls had to hit for an event $35,000 for that one event. And we hit it, man. And we hit above, like, I think it was like 37K or something. And it was an amazing feeling because I had been in their shoes and I knew all the managers above me that either made me or almost broke me. And so I told myself if I ever got into that upper level division that I wanted to be an encourager for my girls. And I really hope I was that. And I truly believe that I was, but I loved that. So I was trying to do that on YouTube and it was just like whoosh.
Yeah.
So, with a lot of other stuff we've talked about, but being a mom, my son has autism. So, that is a major thing in my life. And one reason why I kind of pulled back because he needed my overall attention, and YouTube just had to take a back burner, honestly. So,
No, that's
um,
really common with women once they hit a certain age in their
yeah.
career, whether it's media or working in the
Mm-hmm.
film industry, because it is impossible with the timelines and restrictions you have to meet. And with
Oh,
children,
yeah.
you can't put them, I mean, you can put them on a schedule, but things pop up, tests, quizzes, things outside of their
Yeah.
control as well. Kids get sick, whatever it may be, especially now with virtual
Oh,
academy.
yeah.
It's like, what was I thinking? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot to put. It's a lot
Exactly.
on one person to do when
Oh, yeah.
it's not just a 9 to 5 type of job. It's 24/7.
Yeah.
So
And
how did you? Yeah, how did you do that? How did you work around it?
well, like I said, he didn't get diagnosed with autism until he was 4, but I knew he's had, you know, therapies and stuff like that since he was 15 months old because mama don't play. I knew something was wrong. And this
Mhm.
was before my YouTube career. So I even went to nursing school too, tried that out, ranked in, and I had to pull back because of him as well. And I would do it all over again and pull back. He started, with kids with autism, they do really well, then they have setbacks, and they do really well, and they have setbacks. And at the epitome of my career with YouTube, I said, I have to pull back. And I'm glad I did at the time because it took forever, but he started regular education in 7th grade. And now he's in high school marching band, playing the clarinet, straight A student. I mean, he went from nonverbal to this. So
Like,
that,
can I give him a round of
ah,
applause just for
I
that? That's
know that he
amazing.
deserves so much. So
And you
now
deserve
that,
it for, I mean, to make that
oh, thank
sacrifice
you.
for it to like pay off. Like so many women go through, or so many parents in general have to make those sacrifices sometimes for their career, for their children. So
Yeah, it's tough. And so now that, you know, he's doing well, and I kind of went over to Instagram and transitioned like a few years ago because it was a lot easier and I could still do what I love. And but now that he's doing so well and my daughter's doing well in school too, it's like I have two kids. Like I got to make sure they both get all the love and attention.
Right.
Now I'm starting to put my time back into Instagram, influencing, and maybe even YouTube. So I think I'm going to go back. But now is my time, and now I just want to try to change the world as much as possible and change people's lives as much as possible, especially with everything that is going on right now, you know, in our world, especially in our country and politically, and just I want to do what I can. So now I can focus on that and, you know, just it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no. So I want to ask you, what is like a typical day like as an influencer mom of two kids? Like, how do you balance all that?
And working and doing marketing. Well, you know, everybody's working from home right now because of the pandemic.
And and your children. So that's, I'm like, that's 3 computers minimum.
Right.
And all the internet and web broadband and all that you need for that. So yes,
Oh
please
my
share all the
gosh.
tips.
So a typical day, especially working from home right now, because right now I'm doing marketing for different companies, and which is amazing because I'm just doing it from my computer. So I'm doing that. So I typically just wake up, start my day, and I start my day on Instagram. You've seen that. I'll start my day. I plan my days, to be
What are you
honest with
talking
you.
about? I have no idea what you're talking about.
But I wake up, I plan my days, I get started on Instagram, do what I need to do for companies. I work for Instagram and influencing. I mostly do my work on the weekends.
Okay.
Because I have more time to where I can take pictures, I can film, I can, like, I just had a sponsorship with Wet n Wild and Walmart.
Oh,
What? Which
fun!
was amazing.
What? Triple W's, Wet Wild and Walmart.
And
How
I
did
was
that
so
come about?
excited.
Yeah.
You know, they contacted me, asked me if I wanted to review one of their products that was coming out, which was their breakproof liner. And I said, yeah, sure.
Yeah, how do you like it?
And we worked on it, but it was a lot of, see, this is another thing that people don't know as far as when you have sponsorships with companies. It's not just, like you said, a pretty picture that goes up. No, they got to see the picture, see if they like the picture, and then you have to send them your caption, what you're going to put online for everybody to see, whether it's your video, whatever. And you have to make edits because of FTC, of course. You know, FTC, good old FTC. You got to make sure everything is disclosed, which I always disclose, but it has to be done in a certain way to where brands don't get in trouble, you don't get in trouble, and everybody's happy and it's all copacetic. You know what I mean? So it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
I didn't get that post out for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I think, just because I had to keep going back. I had to edit, ask the company if it was okay, and then you put it out. But I was super excited because it was my first sponsorship on IG, and I was like, what? Wet n Wild wants to work with me? I mean, growing up, I used to buy their makeup because it was affordable.
Right.
So,
It was like $1.99.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So and that's just where it starts,
Your
man.
parents didn't buy makeup for you too. Like, I just bought
Right.
them.
I did. I swear. I just bought some candy. But yeah. So that was pretty cool. But it takes a lot of work. You got to do edits for them. So definitely my day is crazy. Thank God I have amazing kids that don't really need my help. So they're doing their thing online with online school. They're getting good grades. I mean, every once in a while I'll help them out. Of course, I have to do laundry and housework, plus do work, plus influencing. It's just all a balance. Like I said, I have a notebook. So I like a calendar notebook, and I like to write in the days, everything that I do and what I'm going to do for the day, what I'm going to do for the week. So, and then the mom stuff, honestly, you just do it in between, because it's like a kid will be like, Mom, I need this. And then you're like, I'm okay. You know, that's just how it is.
No, because it's like so much time. I do a lot of my work on my device or my iPhone, And if my daughter calls me in between, I'm like, I don't remember what app I was in or what email I was in. What,
Right.
like it's like, well, whatever it was, hope it comes back. I hope, so
Hopefully it comes back to my brain.
like today or tomorrow. Or it's
Right?
gone forever.
Yeah.
And so sorry to anyone that may owe an email, phone call, text. That could have happened.
That's me.
So
Oh yeah.
especially with like, so my husband was home for a couple of weeks after the holidays. He had a small
Yeah.
little injury. And so while he was home, well, not small little injury, but needless to say, he was home for a while. And like I got to see what it was like for everyone else in a way where their spouses were home the entire time of the pandemic, maybe. And
yeah.
I was like, wow, this is a lot to take it. Like there's too many moving parts. Like, cause now I had 2 people calling me, which you already can relate to. But then there was like adult issues I had to deal with that was more frequent. And so I use this analogy that being a mom is a lot like you're juggling with rubber balls and glass balls, that some of those balls, when they break, they shatter, you're done, you're in trouble. And then but some of the balls are rubber, they bounce back. You can live another day. You can find another way to fix it, like maybe dinner or whatever it may be. But when those shatter, those are the ones that get me, because it's like I'm not missing my daughter. Like there's certain non-negotiables that I won't miss this.
Yeah.
And right now, I will not work outside of my house because I'm not putting my daughter at risk with the pandemic.
Of course.
As an actor, you have to work without your mask on, and it's just, I mean, death is permanent. So I'm not taking the risk.
Oh yeah.
And,
but I think being a mother helps us to, because we, as women, we think a million things already, right? So it just helps us to be able to juggle and balance so much. I mean, you learn how to prioritize, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
okay.
What were you gonna say? Sorry.
No, I'll wait for her.
I'm so goofy, man. I'm just like in a really like happy mood today. I'm like, yeah.
I'm glad.
Had my coffee today.
Happiness. Enjoy.
I know, right?
Because people don't know about us CPS lives when it comes to peak season. And just how isolating it can be as well, because it's during the holidays while everybody's spending time with their and family. We're spending it with social media.
And I think, yeah, right. And I think that's what's like kind of crazy too, is when you're an influencer, and like most of my people know my husband works for UPS, but it's kind of like a big deal for our families when we're in the spotlight. I wanted to talk about that a little bit. I think, and I know you know this firsthand, but sometimes, even though we're influencers and we're here and we're in front of the camera, sometimes our families just don't want to have anything to do with it. You know what I mean? They're just like,
that's your profession, not mine.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's
how does
been
that work? Even that.
It's been
Let's get into it. The dynamic of that,
right?
Yeah,
let's get into the dynamic of it. Yeah, being an influencer husband. So my husband, everybody rarely sees, because like he is totally supportive of what I do and he loves it, but we will never be a blogging family. Let me just say that. You know what I mean? Heck no. Like that probably will never happen. Everybody's asked me to. And you know what? I used to do that when the kids were little. I think there's a few videos up of us blogging. If not, I've privated all of them. But sometimes it's a lot for other people in your family. Like I know my kids were all about it when they were little, but now they're going through teenage phase and they're like, don't show me on camera. Oh my gosh, mom, my hair. No, I don't want to be a part of this. So you have to really learn to respect your family's boundaries, because not everybody wants to be on camera, which is kind of hard for, like I said, my personality, because you know I want to like bring my husband out and be like, look, this is my husband, or but I can't do that,
right,
and stuff. But there's a little bit of a learning curve when you have people that don't want to be on camera, which is kind of crazy too, because then you're having to like film in certain areas and only do certain things.
Right.
Trying to keep your privacy, but yet still being out there. So
Yeah. I
nuts.
just brought that up because I remember when my daughter was small, because she modeled with me as well on a lot of acting gigs and so forth. And even on her own, she's done a lot of stuff. She's been modeling since she was
Yeah.
11 months old. And like I had a weirdness about social media part of it with her. Like I felt like that was her job. It's
Yeah.
not really for everyone to just see her. And
Yeah.
because there was also the worry of privacy. And I used to
Yeah.
watch Catch a Predator way more than I'd like to admit. So I was just like, I don't want to just be like, hey, let me advertise where my daughter lives and where she goes to school and her interests and what she likes to do. I just felt like it was like opening the door to possible problems. And but then as she got older, I noticed that she would come alive on camera. Like she felt more confident. She would want to talk, and just a completely different personality would kind of come out of her. So she makes videos all the time. I just don't post them anymore because I didn't want her to have that pressure.
Yeah, I get it.
We did do it for a little while where she had the YouTube and stuff, but then it was like being on a schedule and with school, and it's like, you know what, just make your videos, and who knows, we could 5 years from now, we could upload them all or one by one or not at all, do whatever you want with them. But it doesn't always have to be that it has to be, like you said, public. It could be private as well. But keeping those boundaries. And I felt like she wasn't old enough also to make that choice because she didn't know all that would mean. And there was a time I ran into a friend of mine's kid that had seen so much on social media that when I saw them in real life, I was like, oh, and hi, blah, blah, blah. And it didn't even dawn on me to that kid. I'm a stranger. I'm stranger danger coming up to you, saying your name and being like, I know your mom. And, like saying all the things that you pretty much train your kid to not kind of fall for. So I was just like, I'm not going to. And she was maybe 2 or 3 when this happened. So that was bad. And slowly a little bit more. But with my husband, he was not going to take my picture for me, and he's not going to be.
Well, see, my husband will do that.
Oh, he will
do that. Like he's really into photography. And he's into computer stuff and all that. That's what he got his first degree in. And then he got his second degree in kinesiology. But he loves, like, if I need a picture for, like, I had a sponsorship with Just Fab. Was it Just Fab? It was one of those that does the shoes. I forgot which one. But anyways, so we went out and he took all the pictures for that, which was amazing. So he does help in that aspect. But I can see where you're getting from as far as the kids go. My kids used to really love doing it. Now they're hardly on, except for my son. He has his own YouTube channel. And I inspired him to start one. So he has his now, and he has Caleb Gaming, but he does gamer stuff.
That's what she was saying. So what games does he like to do?
Oh, what games is he into?
Yeah, because it's kind of weird. Like, who would think that would be a thing? I'm going to watch you play video games. And that's going to be my watching you playing video games.
I don't know. He does it all from like Fortnite to Call of Duty. You know, all that stuff.
Yeah, Fortnite.
That's like a big thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's Fortnite, like a big thing.
No. Whatever. They're not paying me. I'm not saying it.
Yes. It's like, right. Oh, you know what? That's another thing I wanted to tell you. I think we talked about it last time when we were talking privately. No, did we talk sponsorships? I don't know if we did.
Really, let's talk about it because I've been.
Let's just talk about companies and PR, like in general. So once you get to, well, now I guess not, because they're really starting to focus more on micro influencers, which I consider myself a micro influencer. I don't consider myself a big, huge influencer, not on Instagram, at least, not even on YouTube, because I haven't done it for so long, but I am working with some top brands that are sold at Sephora, like Pharmacy Beauty, Lord Jones. Who else am I working with? I'm working with a lot of brands, but anyways, so they do send PR samples, and it's gifted. which everybody knows. Celebrities get the PR samples. We as influencers get the PR samples. And it's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's nice getting those products. And we don't have to show them if we don't want to. It's for consideration, of course. And if we show them and we love them, we talk about them. But there are some products, of course, I don't show. And the flip side to that is if you don't show their products or you don't show them enough, then they won't send you any more PR. That's what a lot of brands do. So in a way, it's great because when you're first starting off, you get your name out there, you're getting these samples, but product don't pay the bills. So after a while, you got to start knowing your worth and talking to these brands and emailing them, because you can only do that for so long. And a lot of brands will take advantage. They will take advantage of that free promotion. Yeah. So you got to be really, really careful. Like, if I can give any kind of advice, you know.
Oh, I fell for that trap.
Yeah. And
because they were giving me free products. And I was like, oh, yay, free products. And you get they give you a name or a link, a promo code to use, and you'll get a percentage of it. Never got a percentage, by the way.
Oh,
And so when I finally called them out about it, like, oh, well, we didn't have your PayPal. Oh, but you had my address to mail all the products to.
Right.
So you can mail that check.
Exactly.
And they were notorious for every time they would be on my show, they would make a point of, I would do the code, whatever, but then the next day they would have 50% off code. Who's going to use my code?
Yeah.
50% off or 30% off.
Yes.
I was like, I am never doing that again. I won't. Everybody knows.
Just like I will say, because I did not have to sign a non-disclosure agreement, but I still won't say the brand.
I don't want to give them that.
I won't say the brand, but I did a collaboration. Was it in 2011 or 2012? I don't know, with a certain brand that was just starting their subscription box service. I'll just say that. And I think I did a lip kit with them. And so did some of my other blogger friends. We all kind of did it together and we had our own lip kits. And I don't know how much money they made off of those lip kits, but I got a $40 check and that's all I got from it. Yes, Camille, it was crazy, right? And I mean, I put a lot of work into everything, and that was like my first, as an influencer, you got to read everything you're given, your contracts, you gotta, because these companies take advantage. They're horrible.
That same company called me, asked me, since I had all these different celebrity guests on, hey, by the way, will you get a picture of one of your celebrity guests wearing these lashes, and we'll put your code on the picture. So you're telling me I'm going to call a celebrity and say, hey, by the way, send me a picture of you wearing a product for free that they're going to use for a commercial. Like, I am not that bad of a person just because you are. Like, no, that
exactly.
I just kept asking questions just to see how far would this person go with it, and they were willing to go all the way down. Or situations where they'll use we'll have an product exchange, and if I like it, I'll definitely post about it because I love products. I was an esthetician for a reason and makeup artist, and so. But don't take my image and keep using it.
Exactly. And
without my code, or don't make a review in my name or like steal my lives or whatever. Like, it's just, I pay more money for an attorney than I almost make at this point during the pandemic.
Right. Yeah. And it sucks because that same thing's happened to me too, where a brand has used my picture that I've taken showing a product, their product, of course, but they didn't ask me to use it for advertising. And I've had to go and have companies take down my picture because it's like, you're not paying me for this. If you were paying me, of course. So it's all those little things. And like I said, a lot of people think I think it's because a lot of other influencers give some of us a bad rap because some of them are doing it for the wrong reasons, but some of us, we aren't. We're doing it
Kind of
because
need a union.
yeah. And of course, we're doing it because we need the income, because of course, that's what people don't understand. Just like when they see J-Lo showing a product, a lot of people gonna be running out to get that product because it's J-Lo. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
right.
But they're not gonna complain that she's making a living off of it. But then when one of us that's like a smaller influencer, then everybody has such a big problem with it. And it's like, I don't see why, especially when some of us are really truthful about our products, skincare, like you said, because I'm an esthetician. That's another reason why I kind of pulled back from YouTube too, because I went to esthetician school. And we know skincare products, and
Well,
we
and
know it takes,
well, then I mean
a
that's the other
long
part of
time.
influencers. I think that gets the bad rap is that they'll speak from an expert perspective and not have
Yeah.
the education or
Not,
the actual
yes.
schooling behind it. I mean, you went to school, you actually worked as a makeup artist, but some of
Yep.
these people are giving advice or saying things and they're just saying it to sell products. Like they have no idea what they're saying. They'll just say, I mean,
Yep.
it's not like actors where we're given a script. They're just, I don't care.
Yes.
Money. Or maybe they're not even getting money. They're just getting product. I don't know. But I've learned a lot from doing that side of things that I was like, I don't want to run my business in that way if that means I have to deal with those kinds of people because they're just way too shady.
Oh yeah.
I won't think that far ahead of shadiness to be able to prepare myself from that level of
exactly.
Like they know they're getting ready to do something criminal or illegal, or they know they're not going to do you don't. So you're putting in all that effort and the work with the idea this could amount to a campaign for other options, or whether it's a new influencer working with a big brand, getting their first free product or whatever. Like you're going to do it because you're new. I mean, when I first worked in the film industry, I did a lot of extra work. I did a lot of student films. I won't do it now. I've paid
no.
So I felt like on this side, podcasting and all of that, I had to kind of pay my price, learn things. Like, nah, I'm not going to learn any more hard lessons. I'm good. It costs too much money.
Oh yeah.
So I'm glad that you're sharing that.
Yeah, you gotta. It's all about knowing your worth, and the people that love you will continue to watch you. But let me just say this: oh my gosh, being in the influencer world, I feel like there's a lot of people now, which we all had to earn, our followers, our subscribers, our just everyone that we have following us, like all of us OGs from back in the day. And I feel like now everybody and their mother are buying their likes, buying their subscribers. And it is crazy, which sucks for us but the brands, they know. Let me tell you how, because like when I did my sponsorship with Wet n Wild and Walmart, they look at your insights and you have to pull them from your IG or wherever, and you have to give them to these brands because they want to see, how are people engaging with you, but they also watch you too. And they'll like I noticed for a while that Wet n Wild was looking at my IG stories. I'm like, why is Wet n Wild watching my IG stories? Why are you watching my IG stories?
Yeah, okay.
I mean, all the brands that I work with now, I noticed that about them. Pixie Beauty, Pharmacy Beauty, Lord Jones, Wayne Goss. Wayne Goss, do you know who Wayne Goss is? Goss makeup artist.
I'll pretend that I do. Yes.
He's amazing. He's amazing. Look him up. I love Wayne. He's
I'm
an
bad with
amazing
names.
makeup artist.
It depends on how it's spelled. I might know it. It's just.
Oh, he's amazing. I love him. He's a makeup artist out of the UK. And he's also I look up to other makeup artists, of course, because I'm a makeup artist. And he's one of the ones I really look up to as well. And he's a YouTuber as well. And he's amazing, Camille. Look him up. He's just so awesome. The products he creates.
I don't follow any YouTube makeup artists.
His brushes are sold on beautylish.com. His eyeshadows
right now.
His blushes, Wayne Goss is where it's at. Let me tell you. Oh, and not just that, but he's such a humble influencer artist. He's always like showed me love and he's put me in his IG stories, and I love him to death. Talking about a big artist that isn't afraid to tell it like it is. Like I said, he's humble, he's authentic, and then he gives not just micro, like he gives micro influencers, everybody a chance. Like he'll put people on his IG stories, he'll shout people out.
So you're
he's
saying
fabulous, man.
for me to have him as a guest on my show? Is that what I'm hearing?
I think you should have Mr. Wayne Goss. You should try to get a hold of him because he is.
Wait, I think I heard you.
He's an OG.
I'm like,
I can actually reach out to him. I can actually message him and give him your connects. So I'm pretty sure he would do it because he's amazing. Slide into his DMs, and I'll slide into his DMs. We'll both slide into Mr. Wayne's DMs because I just have so much respect for him. When I do decide to come back on YouTube, I am probably going to be creating looks with his products. Okay. So, because he's just wonderful and he knows his shit. Sorry, can I say that on here?
Absolutely.
I didn't know.
Speaking of that, like, what are some of your favorite products overall? Wait. It might ruin this. Would it?
This is where it gets good. Like as far as makeup, skincare. Wow.
I'll make it more specific.
So much.
For those on a budget, what would be your favorite skincare item? If you had to pick one. For
those on a budget, I know I like the new Neutrogena Hydrating Hydrogel. I believe that's what it's called for drier skin types. It's a really great moisturizer for the skin. It really helps to draw in water, plump the skin, help it look more youthful. Oh my gosh, and, it's hard for me to recommend drugstore. It's hard as an esthetician.
I mean, I can do both. I can do it all day. Okay, and then on the other side, for the luxurious higher end market, what would be your favorite skincare product?
Right now, I am totally obsessed, and they're not sponsoring me to say this or anything, but I'm really into products that have CBD now. They're so great for the acid mantle of the skin. Yes. So a new product that I've been loving, because my skin's changed. It used to be more combination to oily. Now it's combination to dry. Welcome to 40. It happened, right?
Mine did the opposite.
Did it really?
Now I have acne.
Lord, girl. Mm-hmm. Oh, I have that too. But I recommend highly the Lord Jones Acid Mantle Repair Moisturizer. It has changed my skin and my life, because you know how we can over exfoliate sometimes, and especially as influencers trying different products and estheticians, because we're skincare junkies and we're just gonna try it all and just put it all over our face, right?
My gosh, no, I'm kidding.
Right? Oh my gosh! But I highly recommend that. I also highly recommend Ulla Henriksen products. Mm-hmm. The Banana Bright Sea Serum is so great. It not only smooths the skin, but it helps to brighten the skin as well. And I find that it wears really well under makeup, because when it all comes down to it, primers, nobody needs primers under makeup. I'm just going to say it.
Thank you.
I'm just going to say it.
Say it again.
Nobody.
On the back.
No one needs primers. Like, everybody just needs to, cleanse the skin properly, exfoliate, moisturize with a good moisturizer, and that is your canvas. I don't use primers on clients anymore. I don't think I've used them for years.
I never bought.
Yeah, you don't need them. And if you're having problems with like large pores and stuff like that, if you get the right kind of skin regimen and moisturizer, it'll help with that. So I love the Active Moist from Dermalogica that I recommend for a lot of people that's just starting out, because it's just gentle. It's great for dry or combination. Actually, for dry, you need a little more, but if you're just starting off and you don't want that irritation, and it's great.
I can smell esthetician school just by you mentioning Active Moist.
Oh, did you have Dermalogica? Oh, I love Dermalogica though.
Well, you could bring
Oh,
your
so
own.
good.
So I brought in towards the end, I think we had like a Dermalogica rep come in during the end of our school year. So then we ended up getting a lot of Dermalogica products. But before then, since I worked for Mac, I brought in Origins
Oh
products.
yeah. Of course, we all worked for
good.
Mac, right? How many of us work for Mac? Raise your hands. Yes.
Or did you ever work for Clinique as well? Or because that was my first. Was
No,
Clinique.
you know what? I never worked for Clinique, but let me tell you, I got so much experience from the Clinique rep when I worked in all the Ulta stores. Because, you know, I'm there trying to sell my products. So we would kind of work together and I'd be like, okay, I got to get my girls to sell this product. So they would help me out and I would help them out. And I learned so much about Clinique just talking to their director that came in from out of town, and their products are pretty bomb. They have some really good products.
No, I just remember having to put on makeup with Q-tips and cotton balls then.
Yes. Yeah, with Clinique, I noticed they have all of that and their sprays and all the kind of stuff.
Because I'm a huge germ phobe, so I was like, it was the perfect job for me to start off in makeup, just because I know about cleanliness and all of that. But then to go, I traveled with Estee Lauder as well and doing all of that. So I was like,
Estee Lauder,
different things. I was like, oh, it was so much fun. Funny enough, one of the makeup artists that I would travel around with, she was Donald Trump's makeup artist on Apprentice.
I posted, you know, the inauguration, and I posted Biden, and then I posted, you know, Kamala, and to me, it's like I lost a lot of people, but to me, I lost the right people. You know what I mean? I guess you can say, because we live in a world, you know, where there's just so much hate and evil and injustices, and we need to get past that. Come on, we're in 2021 now, and if people don't agree with what I have to say, because I'm pretty positive, even when I post my political beliefs and what I feel, because I'm not Democrat or Republican. I guess I'm more independent or conservative or whatever. I vote for who's going to get the job done, who's going to do it right. And if people have a problem with it, then they don't deserve to be on my platform. I guess that's just the way I see it. They can move on to other influencers that have the same beliefs. But yeah, I did lose a lot of people, and that's okay, because I ended up gaining the right people on my platform, which is awesome. So we made history, man. We made history. History, Kamala.
No, we have a woman vice president.
Right?
I mean,
it's
no matter
since
where
the
you
1920s, right? I mean, that's.
And she couldn't even voted in the 1920s as a person of color. So it's like 1960.
And
I think we were figuring out it would have been Lyndon B. Johnson would have been the first presidential election she might have been able to vote for, depending on where you lived in America.
And as a little girl, I feel like it gives us all hope, especially those of us of color, because, you know, Black and brown girls everywhere are like, yeah, Kamala, because, you know, growing up, you think, man, am I going to be able to do that? And then once you see somebody do it, then you're like, oh yeah, it can be done. Anything can be done. Anything, which is amazing. So, you know, people are going to have their opinions. I really don't get into the whole drama of it. I just post what I post. And honestly, I'm really fortunate that I don't get a lot of crap. Maybe like
maybe it's a travel influence thing, because they're going there to look at places to escape, to travel to, and maybe they were scared of that would change the dynamic of it, as opposed to with the beauty. They're up close and personal with you in your face, constantly going through it with you, or maybe I don't know. But I was just like, what? Like, never would have thought that.
And I'm all about women empowerment. You know, all of us making it, and people, you're either with me or you're not. And if you're not, then find your people, because I have my people and I love them, and I'm glad that they support me. I'm not really a big political person on IG, because I know a lot of people are like, don't post that much, but I'm like, I'm gonna post when I want to post. So when I post, and if they love it, they love it. If they don't, whatever.
And I mean, come on, we're ADHD as well, so you're lucky
Right?
if I remember I'm not supposed to post something.
Right?
Like if the moment hits, so I try to be good about just sharing things to my stories, because I feel like
Yeah.
moment, you have to commit. It's not like a permanent post, or I'll archive things for a while if I'm like, okay, I
Yeah.
don't feel that much emotion now, or
Yeah.
so on. But I was curious how, as an influencer, how you negotiate that or
How
decide,
I negotiate that.
or if you just like own a private page or something.
And maybe it's because I don't have a manager right now. I did have a manager last year that would try to kind of tell me what to post and not to post, kind of like your own publicist or something. And then I was like, I noticed my people weren't having it and they weren't liking it, because then that person was kind of trying to help me with my social media. And I just said, you know what? I'm just going to do it myself. I'm just going to do what I want to do, because this isn't working. And I want my people to love me for who I am and being authentic and posting what I believe. So yeah, I just kind of say it. And sometimes it's controversial. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I am, but it's for a good cause. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For
No,
good reason.
like I love it. Well, I appreciate you, and thank you so much again for being
Thank
my
you,
guest
Camille.
today. It was my
I had so
pleasure.
much fun.
Me too. There we go.
I
So
love you. I know.
we'll have to do this more often, obviously off
know.
camera, so I can get more names.
I know.
So you can name, so you can tell me who to
Yes,
avoid, who to have.
definitely. Well, do you know Farah Dukai?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, she's for Sally Beauty. They sold their line in Sephora.
Yeah.
You need to get a hold of her. I'll get a hold of her. We follow each other on Instagram. Let me see if I can get a hold of her or Sally, her husband, and see what we can do, because I think the more influencers we have out there talking, the better. And then especially very big, influential ones like Farah, like Wayne, like whatever. Even like myself as a micro influencer, just we need more people talking and getting stuff out and information out, and you know what I mean?
Now, why do you call yourself a micro influencer? I thought micro was like 5,000 or
That's
less.
what and everybody told me, you're not a micro influencer. I don't see myself as like bigger, I guess, because I don't know.
You better put that
love...
imposter syndrome somewhere else. Girl, I was like, well, if she's micro, what am I? Can you
love people?
Yeah. What?
But you know what I mean? Like the bigger influencers that are already out there and like really like huge. I mean, the one thing I want to say before I leave is that anybody can do this. You don't have to be super huge, but you can still afford like a beautiful like life doing what you love, being an influencer, you know what I mean? And doing it the right way. So, which is great. But I just like being a motivator. That's it.
Too. I'm women, you know, like
encourager. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Thanks again.